How's it going, fish folk? Austin here with another installment of Fintastic Freaks. So in my last video, I started a little series called Tank Tours, where I go in a little more detail of all the tanks, fish, what have you, I have here in my Fintastic fish room. In my last video, I showed you my pea puffers here, and then we caught up with my hairy puffer, Harry Potter. So this video here will be part 2 of the detailed tank tours. There is another fish species out there other than puffers that I am more than a sucker for, and perhaps you guys might already know what I'm talking about here. While it's no secret that I am a puffer fanatic, if it's not a puffer fish that I'm getting from a fish store, it's these guys right here. Angelfish are definitely another fish that just absolutely has called me since the very beginning of when I started the hobby, as they look amazing in a tank all by themselves. Or you can just have one of them and put them in a big community tank with other fish. Well, as I said before, puffers are also very recognizable for, having that puff-up ability. Angelfish, to me, they're more iconic for just the way they swim. As I have always said, it doesn't even look like they really swim, really. It looks like they just glide or float. As I just showed you guys earlier, I have 3 tanks in which I have some sort of angelfish in. But without further ado, let's see these angelfish and the tanks that they live in. So to start us off here, we'll go to my 46-gallon Bowfront tank, where I house 2 mated angelfish. The one here hiding in the swords and kind of by the Anubias plant here is a marble angel. And this right here, staring me down, is a gold pearl scale angel. And if only that little fish would turn to the side, you would see his beautiful scales. Ah, there we go. Before I got any other angelfish here that you saw earlier, these were the first ones that I got earlier. And they used to live in my 55 over here, which is occupied by some African cichlids. We'll talk about them more though in another video. But one day when I came home, I noticed there were angelfish eggs on one of the Amazon swords. And thus I knew, of course, the only way that's going to happen is if you have a mated pair. And once I finally found these 2, in order to try to hopefully get a batch of fry to raise up, decided to go ahead and give these 2 their own tank, both of which they can grow up to be about 6 inches, and like most other freshwater angelfish, these guys are not too difficult to keep once you put them in tropical water temperatures, so anywhere between 72 to 78 is what I say. Personally, I keep their water temperature about 76 or 77 more so. In terms of plants in here, as you can see, we got some Rotala indica. That's an Anubias of some sort. I don't want to say the wrong type and steer you wrong. Maybe I think it might be an Anubias nana, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. Otherwise, back here we got some Amazon swords, and these are the kind of plants you also want to have if you want your angelfish to lay eggs. They like to lay them on plants with wide or long eggs. They want some leaf with a big surface area that they can put their eggs on. As you can clearly see, my angelfish do not like my camera too much. They never have, really. I'm not sure why. So to keep this shorter, otherwise we got some driftwood in here, young Java fern on there, but yeah, hopefully I can get some of their eggs raised up. I've had these angelfish for about 2.5 years, and they've been laying eggs for about 6 to 8 months now, roughly. So hopefully one of these times I can learn how to raise up their fry here and see what the results were, because I think the results of their children would be absolutely stunning. Speaking of young angelfish, let's come over here and check out this 40-gallon breeder, where we got some young but very beautiful angels who are all, unlike my other 2 back there, are not as camera shy. So within this 40-gallon breeder, we have 6 blue diamond platinum angels, like that guy there. Few more here.
Hello!
And there. And also right there is one of the blue Philippine angels. There's another one in here. Ah, there he is. Baza! I sometimes believe that their stripes are a little bit faded because they're trying to blend in with the blue diamonds. They're perfectly healthy and have been like that, though, just ever since I've put them in here, though. And then also in here, there is one more species. Ah, there he is. This is a Pinoy angel. And just the patterns in his fins and everything, he is beautiful, ain't he? As you can see for plants, the big one here, we got a mighty big Java fern here. Those are single strands of Rotala indica. We also got a couple of very young Amazon swords in here. More Rotala indica there. Those are some young little Val sprouts right there. They're probably stranding off that one. We had some more in here once upon a time, but these guys like to trim it down occasionally. In terms of size for these guys, like my marble and pearl scale, these guys can grow up to be about 6 inches. That's just the body though, minus the fins. Once you include the fins though, reportedly that they can get about a foot then if you include the top fin from the bottom fin. As you can see though, these guys got a long way to go before that comes an issue, as when I got these guys, they were really young. A lot of them, just their body size was about the size of a dime. Maybe a couple were even smaller. Now they're all about at least quarter size. Some have surpassed that even. In terms of diet, and this goes for my gold, pearl, scale, and marble that I showed earlier, I really mix up their diet when it comes to, I give them flake foods, I've given them freeze-dried foods, frozen foods such as brine shrimp, bloodworms, jumbo bloodworms, tubifex worms even. See, this is what I talk about in terms of one of the things that are iconic to me with an angelfish. Obviously that body shape is one thing, but just how they glide in the water. Like I say, it doesn't even look like they're swimming, it just looks like they're floating and gliding along. It's truly one of the most relaxing fish, in my opinion, to watch swim around. And I'm enjoying this group here while it lasts, because usually when they start breaking off into pairs and such, it can be kind of difficult to keep a group of angelfish in there, as they can be very territorial, as they are still a part of the cichlid family. So the last angel in my fish room is this big beauty right here. This is a koi angelfish, and as you can clearly see, even before I zoomed out, he is not alone, as he shares this 75-gallon tank with various rainbows. You also see some rosaline sharks, got a few clown loaches, and there's also some guys that like to hang out in this log. In terms of the specific fish we have in here, we have 3 Bosemani rainbow fish. Towards the front here, you see one of the Millennium rainbow fish. That's a male. Got the other male over there. The 2 gold ones there are female Millenniums. You can also see the 3 rosaline sharks, aka Denisoni barbs, swimming around. That beauty right here by one of the clown loaches is an Australian rainbow. In terms of clown loaches, we have 3 in here. The other 2 are hiding. And the guy there that just poked his head out again, or is right now, this is my black ghost knife ghosty, and I'll have to see if I can lure him out of the log so you can get a even better look at him, as he's about 10 inches long at least right now, and they can grow up to be about 18 inches. It's kind of cool to see him poke his head out. He's usually not even that social. As for the rainbow fish, all of these guys will max out at about 4 or 5 inches or so, so none of them are going to get too much bigger. They'll eat frozen. They'll have brine shrimp, they'll have bloodworms, jumbo bloodworms, tubifex worms, freeze-dried foods, flake foods. They are not picky. I've always kind of looked at rainbows as kind of like the bigger tetra fish, and by that I mean, you know, they kind of remind me a lot of tetras. They're very colorful. You can put most of them together as they group up pretty well, pretty easygoing with each other. And the only thing that's different is they get bigger, obviously, than a lot of tetras do, with the 4 or 5 inches that I spoke of earlier. The rosaline sharks can get a little bit bigger, but they don't get anything of concern. They'll grow somewhere between 4 to 6 inches before their growth spurts are said and done. Getting to more of my bottom-dwelling fish, we'll start with the clown loaches, and since you, little guy, are the only one of the 3 out and about, we'll have to pick on you. One of them has come out to play again. Only the 3rd one would join the party. Currently, my clown loaches are about 3 inches. However, before they're done growing, these guys can reach about 10 inches to even a foot. And they have done a great job of helping keep the substrate down here looking pretty good if I do say so myself. They do a good job of picking up the leftover food that whatever the koi angel, the rainbows, and the roseline sharks don't get. 75 here is probably where I have the most range of plants. As you can see, we got more Rotala indica. That there is an Anubias, same kind of Anubias that I have in the 46 bow, but again, I don't want to say specific and then be wrong. We also got little tiny bits of water sprite in here that were floating in another tank, so just decided to plant them, see if they take off, so we'll see what happens there. Back there is a crypt of some sort. Got a bit of Java fern growing on there with some moss that unfortunately is not looking so hot. Otherwise, we got some Amazon swords in the background. Here, somewhat in the plants, you can see that is my striped Raphael catfish. He is about 4.5 inches right now. He, like the clown loaches, also likes to clean up the leftovers of what the rainbows leave, only he's kind of more lazy. Striped Raphael catfishes usually max out around 7-8 inches, so nothing like what some other catfish can grow, so they're, in my opinion, they reach the perfect size for home aquariums. Especially the 75 here. He'll live pretty happily in this one for quite a good amount of time. And this right here is my black ghost knife Ghosty. And yeah, he is a big fella. He is about 10 inches. He'll max out around 18 though, or 16 before he's done growing. He's like, "Can you give me my log back, please?" Here you go, buddy. I made a care video all about Ghosty here, or earlier, so I'll go ahead and add a tag here. And yeah, this tank is, as I said earlier, to anyone that's seen my fish from in person, this is one of the favorite tanks of everyone, if not the favorite tank. And it's definitely one of mine too, as widest array of fish probably of any tank in the fish room here. And kind of some of the more unique ones as well, as you saw there with my ghost knife, the catfish, and just the various rainbows. It just makes it a really, really cool tank here. And with that, we'll go ahead and cut it off as part 2 right here. If you like the video, fish folk, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you have a favorite angel, or maybe you liked one of the rainbows that you saw here, or maybe even the black ghost knife, go ahead and let me know which was your favorite in the comments below. And if you like what I do on my channel here, and haven't done so already, click the subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything I do. Coming up soon, got a new fish to show y'all soon here. A fish store here in the Omaha area is having a grand reopening after relocating, so might be doing a little something about that later, and plenty more to come here yet. Until next time though, fish folk, stay fantastic.